Welcome to Vibrant Numerals. So it's finally here, the video that's giving you the vibrational review of the movie Sinners. I finally was able to go and see it, and I'm really focusing in on what is this beautiful tapestry story that's being woven through all of the vibrations of this movie. I'm Elizabeth, and I help spiritual practitioners and number enthusiasts apply numerology to their practice and to their everyday life. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Enjoy! So I absolutely loved going to see the movie Sinners and um, really tuning in and grasping on to those numerical vibrations that it was presenting was very interesting. And so I'm going to leave, even though I loved it all, I'm going to leave all of the historical Easter eggs and the psychological Easter eggs and musical Easter eggs. I'm going to leave that to the experts. I'm going to go and enjoy all of their reactions. You may see me reacting to their reactions here. And I'm going to really focus in on the numerical vibration themes that I picked up on and saw within that movie Sinners. So just off the bat, the name Sinners at 98, and I think I spoke about this in my video that I did before I went and saw the movie. You should check that out if you haven't seen it. This theme of 98 is very much coming up very strongly, not just for this movie, but in our world right now. But so what it seems like, there's this theme of 98, 198, 189 that are coming up a lot. They come up in the movie and they're coming up in our world, along with all of these vibrations of 11. So any of these numbers that are adding up to 11 are coming up a lot, and they are just coming up right now, just generally. So we see those themes in this movie, but they're coming up very generally across the board. We'll see similar themes in other entertainment and in just in life. And so this is that top surface layer. This is what we first interact with when we're interacting with this beautiful vibrational tapestry that was made with this movie. Once we get past that layer, there's lots of imagery and words that were said and things that were unsaid, like the reading between the lines that were coming up around the storm, power and purpose. And this is that middle layer. And then beneath that surface is where we got to really this deep core of the themes of this movie and this vibrations that was picking up on around the heart, love, I love you, and unconditional love, and that's at the core and the heart of it, of this vibration. So we'll take a look at each of these layers and dig in even more. So let's look at this first layer of the story, which is very interesting because a story is a phrase that resonates at 98. And here we have this title of Sinners, and there's pieces of these stories where you see all of these stories interacting with each other, giving a larger overcompassing story, and is making you question who is the sinner and how is sinner defined, what would be considered a sinner. And then that's very interwoven with some of these vibrations of 198, where 198 is like a vibration of untempered power, like power that you can't control. And we see this in these phrases like fellowship and love and stories and songs. Um, and one of the largest, I think the two largest 98 numerical vibrations that were occurring within um, the film was sunset, where at sunset the world changes, things happen differently in the dark. Um, and what is the dark? Sinners act in the dark, and what is that? But also trust. Um, and how do you trust yourself, and who do you trust, and how do you know if you can trust, and why do you trust? Is a significant theme throughout. And that's interweaving with these very interesting vibrations of 11. And so we kind of have these two major 11 to 2 themes. So 11 really is more about like balancing between these extremes, where 2 is really trying to bring the two extremes together in some way to create something new. But we have this one theme that's all around the music, and that runs deep throughout. So music is a numerical vibration of 65, which adds up to an 11. But music, play music, songs, the blues, this phrase of the blues, rock and roll, hip hop, where we see all of those different types of music interacting together within this film. And then you get drawn into like the battle of the blues and understanding some of that history there. And even in some of the lyrics, so Take Me in Your Arms is resonating at an 11 vibration with 416. Um, and then more of the imagery. So the roof is on fire, um, is an 11 vibration, because you're thinking, is this a good thing or a bad thing? And especially when it comes out of a similar feeling of like eh, this dualism between good and bad, and are we balancing between these 11, or are we bringing them together and creating something new? um, and also, along with this theme of the music, you also have the red curtain, which is an 11 with a numerical vibration of 146. And it's like the curtain is separating between extremes. And how do you reconcile with that? And so that's how this theme of 11 is really kind of interacting with what we're seeing with 98. And we have this other theme that really is about power and wound. And so we have some of the themes that have come up, whether it's something somebody says or what they're interacting with. And so there was a lot of these imageries of oppression. Um, who was oppressed? Who was the oppressor? And really playing on those themes. And that is an 11 with a 146 numerical vibration. And then within that, what role does having a power dynamic, whether it's with the chain cane or some kind of quota or punishment of lynching, along with this power dynamic of money. And so all three types of money are an 11 here, vibrating at an 11 vibration. And interestingly, this phrase, blood money is cursed money, is an 11. And it goes along with gold and with the wooden nickels. Um, and so you have this like hierarchy of these different monies and the power that is exchanged within it. But then we also get this phrase that kept coming up, and it wasn't in what was said, but you could see it resonating and weaving through what was being seen, that it was time to let go of the wound. But in numerical vibrations, the word wound is the same as the word power. And so, time to let go of the power is the same numerical vibration as time to let go of the wound. And so, you have all of these imageries and words and things playing out around these power dynamics and where you belong and what you own and where does that put you in the hierarchy, and um, all at the same time understanding what are the wounds that are coming from this, and how do that power and wound interact with each other and resonate with each other. And I seem like I'm zoning out because I am. I'm going back and I'm visiting those vibrations again, and I wish I could do better. And I'm going to continue to practice and learn to do better at describing it, because it's really amazing to be able to see how these vibrations interact and weave together, and then how we can interact with them and have them come into our bodies. So the last kind of thing that goes along with this is looking at a repressed sorrow, which is an 11, but it also is resonating similarly to healing, which is an 11, and also baptized, which is an 11. And so thinking about that wound and how it relates to the power dynamic, and um, how do you heal from that or move on from it, and playing into this dualism again, like this dualistic kind of world of can you heal in ways in the church and also out of the church. So this is our top layer, which is very in depth, especially because these are a lot of the numerical vibrations and themes that we're seeing just in general. So below that surface level numeric vibration of 98 and 11, interacting with each other, now we get to this layer of storm, the storm, um, along with power and purpose. Now we've seen power previously, in that power is resonating at 77, which is the same as the word wound. But we also have other imagery and other words that are coming up that also resonate at that numerical vibration of 77. The Blackbird Cafe, also stars, whether we see them or we say them, whether it's stars in the sky or it's stars as in we see stars for somebody, or we consider someone a star. Also live on, which was a reoccurring theme, are all resonating at this numerical vibration of 77. And that's kind of interacting with. So at this top layer, we have this interplay of dualism and looking at trust and how that dualistic nature is playing on the trust. And then you get to this incredible layer of like realizing that these storms can be storms within or storms without. We saw a lot of imagery in the daylight hours of potential storms or storm coming or in a storm. Um, and also, we saw like the use of juxtaposition to indicate a potential storm of emotions or interactions. Um, it's interesting also because the word twins is also resonates with that word storm, and so just even continuously seeing that imagery of the twins is bringing up this vibration of storm or the storm, um, and what that actually means. Now, remembering that this layer of dualism with that 11 too is sitting just above it. So it's interacting with that a lot as well. And we have more of this dualism here at this layer with the word purpose, where purpose is 110. So you have that 11 in there. It's just additional zero with that divine energy. So now we have the divine energy is enhancing that 11 of that dualistic nature. And so we see more of this interplay, but now it's at this deeper level of like, what is the storm that is coming through? Can we feel the storm? Are we ready to weather the storm? Um, and what's the purpose of any of these storms? We've had a lot of these words and even a name. So Elias Moore is resonating at a numerical vibration of 110, which resonates with purpose. But it also resonates with the word equality, and that was a lot of the imagery and a lot of what was coming up also, and what was proper and improper. And then we get this theme again of money and gold, and how that resonates with power, and the power is at that same numerical vibration. You also still see the sprinklings of some of those musical themes where we have rock and roll is resonating at the same numerical vibration as the storm and the twins, and to attract. And so it was very interesting to see as the sinner's story is progressing and we're getting drawn in, how we came in with some of these uh, numerical vibrations, these resonances that were happening all around us. 98 and these 11-2 themes are happening all around us very strongly right now. And so to walk in with that and immediately be able to connect because of that, and then being able to be drawn into these deeper conversations and feelings and thinkings about this next layer of vibrations was spectacular. It was a very interesting vibrational experience. And I don't always get that same vibrational experience. This, and I've seen it in other forms of entertainment, but it seems like there's this. So vibrations hit us in a couple of different ways. It hits us in our aura, it hits us in our heart, it hits us in our head, and then through any of our senses. When it comes through our senses, it's usually a little bit weaker, um, but it still can get through that way. But when it comes through our heart or it comes through our head, we're getting hit pretty hard with it. And so that's what kind of made this experience of these vibrations different, is it was hitting in the heart, which is interesting because the heart is 85, the same as the word storm. So then this deepest layer of this vibration of the story of sinners um, gets us to this core story of that runs deep through within, but you have to fully connect and fully get into the story, fully be taken over by the vibrations to get here. And this is when we can actually start seeing these vibrations of heart and love and I love you, and unconditional love. So being able to see, but not only see, this movie was different in that there's many a times that we are seeing through people's actions or hearing through their words what they do for love or how they show their love, but it's not very often that you actually hear people say that they love, especially not in this context and not from Black men. Um, or from that Black community in general. And that's just my observation, is that we don't see that. We don't get to hear that in those spaces. And so that was resonating very loudly. And it was interesting because we saw it in a number of different ways. And it was in the unmarked grave that were put up, and how that was treated. It was any of these professions of love, but also the heart. And knowing that the way to kill a vampire is through the heart, a stake through the heart. But the heart, um, the word heart resonates at 52, which is the same as devil and is the same as door. And all of those were very much interplaying with each other. We also got an introduction to this word haint, which is just a spirit. But all of those are resonating at this same vibration. And so they're hitting us in the heart in the same way, but for different reasons. And we also saw that these numerical vibrations of love. So love, voice, the word stack or the name stack, play, and roof all resonate at this 54 together. Um, and so that was a big theme around uh, what does love look like? What is love? But what else is play? And how do play and love interact with each other? And is that okay? And then throwing the voice in there as a way to play. Um, the other one I thought was very interesting was I Love You, which again was said, I think, more often than I've noticed in other times. Um, but also that phrase, I love you, resonates the same as the phrase, devil I know. And so now we're coming back to that dualism, that dualistic vibration of these two different things kind of interplaying and playing off of each other. This was a spectacular movie. It was very layered, and I know all of the reactors that give us our historical and visual and musical Easter eggs are doing an amazing job. And so hopefully you'll be able to see some of these numerical vibrations within there as well. Thanks for hanging in there with me. I know that was a long video with a lot to share, but we'll continue to look at what this tapestry, this vibrational tapestry is, not just with the movie Sinners, but also that's happening kind of collectively right now, and how that Sinners movie fits right in there. As I look at some other people's reviews of Sinners, I will add some pieces and threads to this vibrational tapestry. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and share, and hit the notification bell so you can get notice when I have a new video come out. Thank you. Bye.